Have you ever felt like something essential is missing from your life? Like there's a fundamental disconnect between who you truly are and the reality you're experiencing every day? If you found yourself here, exploring A Course in Miracles, chances are you've sensed that the world as we perceive it isn't the whole story. You're absolutely right. Welcome to what might be one of the most transformative conversations you'll have about the nature of reality, love, and your true identity. I'm here to walk with you through one of the most profound teachings in A Course in Miracles, a section that holds the key to understanding not just why we suffer, but how we can return to the peace and wholeness that is our birthright. Today, we're diving deep into Chapter 2, Section 1, The Origins of Separation. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds heavy, theoretical, maybe even a bit intimidating. But here's the beautiful truth. Understanding separation is actually the first step toward healing it. And healing separation? That's where miracles become not just possible, but inevitable. Think about it for a moment. Every fear you've ever experienced, every moment of loneliness, every time you felt misunderstood or disconnected, all of these experiences stem from one fundamental belief: that you are separate from love, separate from God, separate from your true self. But what if I told you that this separation never actually occurred? What if the very foundation of all our suffering is based on something that isn't even real? This isn't just spiritual theory. This is intensely practical wisdom that can transform how you experience every relationship, every challenge, every moment of your day. Because when you understand the origins of separation, you also understand the pathway home. You begin to see that every problem you face, every conflict in your relationships, every moment of anxiety or depression is really just a call for love, a signal that you've temporarily forgotten who you really are. The Course teaches us something revolutionary. We are not victims of a chaotic world, but powerful creative beings who have simply forgotten our true nature. We've been using our incredible creative power, the same power that God extended to us, in ways that create illusions of limitation, fear, and separation. But here's the miraculous part. The same power that created these illusions can be redirected to create experiences of love, peace, and unity. You see, A Course in Miracles isn't asking you to believe anything blindly. It's inviting you to conduct the most important experiment of your life, to test whether choosing love over fear, extension over projection, unity over separation actually works. And millions of students worldwide have discovered that it does, not as a matter of faith, but as a matter of direct experience. What we're about to explore together goes to the very heart of why the Course was given to us. It explains how we seemingly moved from perfect love to a world of conflict, but more importantly, it shows us the way back. This isn't about guilt or blame. It's about understanding and healing. It's about remembering that no matter how lost or separate you may feel, there's always a way home. As we journey through this material, I want you to remember something crucial. You're not here by accident. The fact that you're drawn to these teachings, the fact that you're willing to question the nature of reality itself, means that part of you already knows the truth we're about to explore. You're ready to remember who you really are. So whether you're brand new to A Course in Miracles or you've been studying for years, I invite you to approach this with fresh eyes and an open heart. Because understanding the origins of separation isn't just an intellectual exercise. It's the beginning of your awakening to the love that you are, the love that you've never actually left, and the love that is calling you home. Are you ready to discover why separation is impossible, even though it seems so real? Are you ready to understand how the very power that seems to divide us is actually the key to our reunion with love itself? Then let's begin this journey together, because your freedom is waiting on the other side of understanding, the extension of God's lovelet. me share something with you that will completely revolutionize how you understand your relationship with the divine. What if I told you that the very essence of who you are isn't separate from God, but is actually God's own extension into creation? This isn't metaphorical. This is the fundamental reality that A Course in Miracles reveals to us. Picture this. Imagine the most perfect, unconditional love you've ever experienced. Now multiply that by infinity, and you're beginning to touch the nature of God's love. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. The Course teaches us that this love doesn't just flow toward us. It literally is us. We are not recipients of God's love. We are God's love in expression. The text tells us something extraordinary. The extension of love is God's function and yours. Think about that for a moment. Extension isn't something God does occasionally when He's feeling generous. Extension is God's very nature, His fundamental being. And because you are created in perfect likeness to your Creator, extension is your nature too. But what does extension actually mean? This is where most people get confused, and it's absolutely crucial that we understand this correctly, because your entire spiritual journey hinges on grasping this concept. Extension is not the same as giving something away and having less. When God extends Himself, He doesn't become diminished, He becomes more. It's like a flame lighting another candle. The original flame loses nothing, yet now there are two flames sharing the same light. Here's the beautiful truth. When God created you, He didn't create something separate from Himself. He extended His own being, His own love, His own creative power into what we call His Son. You are that extension. You are literally a thought in the mind of God, but not just any thought. You are God's thought of perfect love about Himself. This means something profound about your creative power. The Course reveals that you were created not just to receive love, but to extend love. You were given the same loving will to create that God possesses. This isn't a metaphor or a nice spiritual concept. This is your actual function, your true purpose, the reason you exist. And here's what will blow your mind. You're doing this right now, in this very moment. You cannot stop being creative any more than God can stop being creative. The question isn't whether you're creating, you're always creating. The question is, are you extending love like God does? Or are you projecting fear like the ego does? When you truly understand that you are God's extension, everything changes. Every person you meet, every situation you encounter becomes an opportunity to remember and express your true nature. You begin to see that loving others isn't just something nice to do. It's literally how you remember who you are. But here's where many students get stuck, and it's perfectly understandable. You might be thinking, if I'm really God's extension, if I'm really this perfect love, then why do I feel so separated? Why do I experience fear, anger, loneliness? This is the question that leads us into the mystery we're about to unravel. The incredible truth is that your capacity for extension, this godlike creative power within you, is so magnificent that it can even create experiences that seem to contradict your true nature. You are so powerful that you can create illusions that feel completely real, including the illusion of being separate from your source. This isn't your failure or your fault. It's actually evidence of just how magnificent you truly are. You've been creating with such conviction that you've convinced yourself your creations are reality. But what if they're not? What if the very power that seems to have separated you from love is the same power that can return you to the awareness of love? Get ready, because we're about to discover how this incredible creative power took what seemed like a wrong turn, and more importantly, how we can redirect it back to its true purpose. The misuse of creative power. We come to the heart of the mystery, and I promise you, understanding this will completely shift how you see every challenge in your life. Remember that incredible creative power we just talked about? That godlike ability to extend love that is your very essence? Well, here's the plot twist that changes everything. This same magnificent power can be directed in a way that creates the illusion of separation instead of the reality of unity. Here's what happened, and this is going to sound almost too simple to be true. Somewhere in the depths of consciousness, the idea arose. What if I could be independent? What if I could create on my own, separate from God? Now, the Course is very clear about this. This idea is completely impossible in reality. You cannot actually separate from your source any more than a wave can separate from the ocean. But, and this is crucial, you can dream that you have. Think about it this way. When you have a nightmare, the fear feels absolutely real while you're dreaming, doesn't it? Your heart pounds, you sweat, you experience genuine terror. But when you wake up, you realize none of it was actually happening. The dream had no real power to hurt you, even though it felt completely convincing while you were experiencing it. This is exactly what the Course teaches about separation. We're experiencing what feels like a very convincing dream of being separate from love, separate from God, separate from each other. And because we have such incredible creative power, the same power God used to create us, we've made this dream feel absolutely real. But here's where it gets fascinating. And this is information that could save you years of spiritual struggle. The moment this idea of separation seemed to occur, something else happened simultaneously. The Course calls it the principle of the atonement. Before we even fell asleep and started dreaming of separation, the correction was already in place. The answer was given before the problem seemed to exist. This is why Jesus can tell us with such authority that separation never actually occurred. He's speaking from the perspective of awakened mind, where the whole drama of separation and return is seen as a brief instant that has already been healed. It's like he's standing outside the movie theater, telling us that the scary movie we're watching is just a movie. Now, here's what's absolutely crucial to understand. The same creative mechanism that seems to create separation is called projection. While extension shares love and increases it, projection attempts to get rid of what we don't want by pushing it outside ourselves. When we project, we're essentially saying, this fear, this guilt, this unworthiness, it's not in me, it's out there. Can you see how this creates the entire world of separation? Instead of recognizing that we are love, we project our fears onto others and see them as the source of our problems. Instead of extending peace, we project our internal conflict and see a hostile world. Instead of sharing our inherent wholeness, we project our sense of lack and see scarcity everywhere. But, and this is where hope enters the picture, projection is just extension that has gotten confused about its direction. The Course teaches us something that will absolutely transform your life. Projection makes perception. This means that what you're seeing in your world is not actually out there. It's a reflection of what you believe about yourself. This is simultaneously the most challenging and the most liberating truth you'll ever encounter. Challenging because it means taking responsibility for your entire experience. Liberating because it means you have the power to change your entire experience by changing what you choose to extend. Here's the beautiful part. You don't have to figure out how you got confused. You don't need to analyze every mistake or spend years in therapy uncovering the origins of your patterns. The Course is incredibly practical about this. All you need to do is choose differently right now, in this moment. Every time you're experiencing conflict, fear, or a sense of separation, you can ask yourself, am I extending love right now or am I projecting fear? This simple question becomes your pathway back to sanity, your return to your true creative function. The ego, that part of the mind that believes in separation, will tell you that others are responsible for your feelings. that the world is doing things to you, that you're a victim of circumstances beyond your control. But the Course reveals the empowering truth. You are always at choice about what you extend into the world. This is why miracles are possible, and this is why your healing is inevitable. The same power that created the illusion of separation is the power that can choose love instead of fear, extension instead of projection, unity instead of division. Are you ready to discover how this magnificent power can be redirected back to its true purpose? The healing solution. This is where everything we've been building toward comes together in the most beautiful way possible. You now understand that you are God's extension of love, and you've seen how that same creative power can seem to create separation through projection. Now comes the part that will literally change your life. How to return this magnificent power to its true purpose and experience the healing that is your birthright. Here's the revolutionary insight that the Course offers us. Healing separation doesn't require you to do something you've never done before. It requires you to remember what you've always been capable of doing, extending love instead of projecting fear. The atonement isn't about fixing something that's broken. It's about remembering something that's whole. Think about this. Every single time you've ever felt truly happy, truly peaceful, truly connected to another person, you were naturally extending love. You weren't projecting fear onto the situation. You were sharing your true nature. Those moments of joy, connection, and peace, that's your natural state bleeding through the illusion of separation. The Course gives us something incredibly practical here. It teaches us the difference between the ego's version of giving and the spirit's version of extension. When the ego gives, it feels like sacrifice, like you're losing something. When the spirit extends, it feels like increase, like you're gaining everything. This is your internal guidance system for knowing which voice you're following. Let me share with you the most powerful practice the Course offers for healing separation, the holy instant. This isn't some mystical experience you need years of meditation to achieve. A holy instant happens whenever you choose to see any situation through the eyes of love instead of fear. It's available to you right now, in whatever circumstance you're facing. Here's how it works. When you notice yourself feeling separate, afraid, angry, or defensive, you can simply pause and say, "Holy Spirit, help me see this differently." That's it. You're not asking to change the external situation. You're asking to change your internal perception. And this changes everything, because projection makes perception. When you consistently choose extension over projection, something miraculous begins to happen. You start to see that the people who trigger you most are actually showing you the parts of yourself that are calling for love. The situations that challenge you most become opportunities to remember your true strength. The relationships that feel most difficult become your greatest teachers. But here's what's absolutely crucial to understand. This isn't about becoming a doormat or pretending that harmful behavior is acceptable. The Course teaches discernment, not denial. You can extend love while still setting healthy boundaries. You can choose peace while still taking appropriate action. The difference is in your motivation. Are you acting from fear or from love? The most beautiful part of this healing process is that it's completely individual, yet universally beneficial. As you learn to extend love instead of projecting fear, you're not just healing your own sense of separation. You're actually contributing to the healing of the entire world. Remember, we're all part of the same Son of God, all sharing the same fundamental identity. Every time you choose forgiveness over grievance, extension over projection, love over fear, you're adding to what the Course calls the accumulated learning of humanity. Your individual healing becomes a gift to everyone, because separation was never real to begin with. Here's your practical homework, and this is where the rubber meets the road. For the next week, I want you to pay attention to your internal state. When you notice fear, ask yourself, what am I projecting right now? When you feel peace, ask yourself, what am I extending right now? This simple awareness will begin to shift your entire experience. Remember, you are not trying to become something you're not. You're simply remembering what you've always been. You are not trying to earn God's love. You are God's love in expression. The separation you think you're healing never actually occurred. You're simply awakening from the dream that it did. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me into the heart of A Course in Miracles. Understanding the origins of separation isn't just intellectual knowledge. It's the foundation for every miracle you'll ever experience. You now have the key to transforming every relationship, every challenge, every moment of your life. If this content brought you value and insight, please show your support by giving this video a thumbs up. It really helps spread these transformative teachings to more people who need to hear them. And if you're ready to dive deeper into A Course in Miracles with me, make sure to subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell so you never miss our weekly explorations into the Course's most powerful teachings. I encourage you to put these insights into practice immediately. Don't wait for tomorrow or next week. The Holy Instant is available right now. We're going deep into the Course together, and I promise you, your life will never be the same. In the comments below, I'd love to hear, what's one situation in your life right now where you can choose extension over projection? Share your insight. Your vulnerability might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own healing journey. I read every comment and often respond personally. Remember, you are love. You have always been love, and no illusion of separation can ever change that truth. Until next time, keep extending that beautiful light of yours into the world. The world needs what you have to give.